Greetings everyone, this is Connor from DagoraTV, and in this video we're going to be breaking down the Ubisoft press conference at E3 2016. Okay, so the Ubisoft press conference at E3 normally are pretty entertaining, to be honest with you. Aisha Tyler seems to do a great job, and this year was not different. It was an entertaining press conference. It went on a bit long. 2 hours was a bit steep of a time to be able to have a press conference, especially when there wasn't a huge amount of games to be talking about. It was an okay press conference. It wasn't a complete train wreck like EA's. It wasn't that terrible, but it wasn't, as good as, say, I don't think it was as good as Bethesda's, and nowhere near as good as the two first party conferences, but it had stuff to talk about. It had some goods to discuss, and it showed some decent, kind of fun games. And we're going to go in and talk about them right now. So, the first one that they revealed is Ghost Recon, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, which they announced at the end of E3 last year, and they always kind of leave us off with a bit of a surprise. And it's coming out March 7th, 2017, and they showed off some proper gameplay of, 4 people in this open world, and the whole game, they revealed, can be played co-op, can be played up to 4 people for the whole complete time, or you can just play it on your own in single player. And the overall game is set in Bolivia, and a Mexican drug cartel comes in to become the #1 coke dealer because there's this plant that they've got, and we are playing as Spec Ops to kind of bring this down. There's a huge world and a lot of people that it's got, and we're taking people away, we're taking people out, we're trying to we can take out his drug runners and things like that, and there's a lot of different ways we can go about and do this. There's a lot of stuff to do to take out this drug cartel, a lot of different missions and stuff that we can do. This is a big world, a very, very big world, as the developers said that this is the largest action-adventure open-world game Ubisoft has ever done, which is huge, which is freaking massive, because there's been so many really big, really large open-world games that Ubisoft has done, and this is bigger than all of them. So, that's a crazy amount of size to have, and the gameplay this year was a lot of fun. It's definitely orchestrated really well, with the helicopters coming in and someone scouting people out and sneaking in, and people taking out other people so that someone else could run in. This game looks a hell of a lot of fun to be done with friends, and it's something that I'm definitely going to be playing with my friends, without a shadow of a doubt, because it looks a hell of a lot of fun. Coming out early next year, as well, in Q1, as us going against the drug cartel, and I think, some of these missions are going to be great. Some of the missions aren't going to be so great. It's going to be interesting to see how repetitive these missions are. Because if they're all going to be kind of roughly the same mission of, there's a guy in this building that we need to go get out, but there's guards all around. If there's all going to be like that, it's going to get a bit stale, I think, after a while. But if it's going to be, a lot of variety and a lot of interesting different kinds of missions and stuff, I think it'll be fun. Especially a fun game to play with friends. Even if, the games are repetitive, you can make it fun for yourself. Stuff like this are always kind of interesting to do with friends. And again, this is coming out March 7th, 2017. And it was a good demo that they had there, a good kind of a period of time that they had playing the game, and it's definitely got me a lot more interested in the game. We then get Trey Parker and Matt Stone out to talk about South Park, the sequel, The Fractured Butthole. And it was talking about how, it's a superhero game, they were funny, cracking a few jokes out on stage, and things like that. And they'll really talk about, see, the game's kind of like taking the mick of the whole superhero craze that's going on, of the whole Civil War thing, and how Cartman's being the boss of it. It's the day after the stick of truth, and now you're back to being a douchebag, and stuff like that. And it's got roughly the same gameplay. There's some improvements to combat, but it's still got that great humor. It was a very funny demo they had of, Cartman saying, like, don't shake the universe, and things like that. It was great, a lot of fun, and people who are fans of Star Fox will love all that. And the game has classes this time. You can kind of choose what kind of superhero you want to be and the character that you want to be, and there was definitely quite a few options there. The one that they picked in the demo was a speedster, and the combat looks a lot more interesting than before. It actually looks like a really kind of challenging turn-based experience, because it's got the turn-based features of the original, but also the spaces that we can move into now. We can take cover behind objects, we can go behind people, we can push characters into other characters to get an extra hit and things like that. It definitely looks a lot more strategic than before, so there's actually a really decent looking turn-based combat system to go with it. And you can now kind of jump in between time to kill people, which is going to be funny, because your fights actually fracture the essence that is time, which seems to be a lot of fun. And you can knock people into props and everything, so definitely playing the game looks a lot more fun than what Stick of Truth does. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting it. I think a lot of South Park fans are as well. I know a few friends who are South Park fans who are very interested in buying this game and owe it to themselves really to buy the game. And it's coming out on December 6th. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to play. Even if you don't like the combat, I think the whole essence of the South Park, franchise, I think will be able to get you through it. The humour of it all will be able to get you through it. We then go into the Division, and there's got two. Well, it seems like they've got 5 expansions they've got coming out over the next period of time, but they've got 2. One of them is Underground, coming out on June 28th on PC and Xbox, on August the 2nd for PS4. Sorry, so 28th of June for PC and Xbox, it's August 2nd for PS4. So it's more than a month after for PS4, and you get the whole new underground dungeons and things like that, and all the new content you've got for the Division. Bit of a shame for PlayStation players to get it before, but Xbox gave them that money, so it's very kind of upsetting to kind of see how late it's getting in for these kind of sleazy third-party deals. But it's going to be interesting to see how many people kind of come back for these expansions. Let's go to VR. VR, 2 great projects in my mind, to be honest with you, for Ubisoft here, for virtual headset, and they're both for the HTC Vive. There was one, Capture the Prey, which was basically a PvP virtual reality game set in the skies of Paris, and you're birds and you fly and you go from nest to then deliver the birds from one nest to the other and things like that. But you can kill birds, take it off them. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks very fast paced, looks very action oriented. The art style was fantastic. I liked how the last one was at the top of the Eiffel Tower, which was a lot of fun, and it definitely looks like a lot of cool stuff, and it suits the VR well. I think that was kind of the most exciting one for me of them all. But for Nathan, who's on the Genome podcast, he was very, very excited about the Star Trek Bridge Crew, where we had all people from Star Trek and everything like that, just on the bridge, fighting a battle against another ship, which looks like a lot of fun if you were actually, playing it with a lot of group of friends, which all own the HTC Vive, which I don't see happening. I personally don't see this game doing well, even though it's got the Star Trek label on it. It's simply because I don't see people, having 4 or 5 HTC Vive friends with HTC Vive sat in a room looking left and right to another and seeing them in the room. I just don't see that happening personally. I think that it's going to come short. I think it's a really cool idea that I think a lot of Star Trek fans are going to be excited about. I just don't see the game doing well personally. Then we get into probably for me, the most interesting part of the conference For Honor, and we've talked about some of the single-player story versions of the game, some of the single-player editions. We got that cool guy with the beard coming out again. I liked him from the last E3, and he was great. This time, talking about in the dark, doomy voice, and I thought he was great. And he was talking about some of the stuff that's going to be coming in the single-player, because I talked about multiplayer last year, and they were saying that all the samurai, knight, and Viking were all at war together for about 1,000 years, and then this guy called Napoleon come on when they were just making peace, and then they all were all fighting, and we create this allegiance called the Blackstone Legion, and it's alliance that's trying to drive away the enemy. And the stuff that I saw, judging by what I saw, we have kind of 3 different campaigns, it looks like to me, and this needs to be clarified up to me. The samurai, the Viking, and the knight, because the samurai, he gave some details on the samurai, but then he said, well, the Viking's different. Well, I could tell you, or I could just show you. And then he showed 10 minutes of Viking campaign gameplay, whereas, the ships were coming in, they were all on fire, and then the characters kind of marching up, going through the kind of village and the town, and fighting people along the way, and fighting trash, and also kind of bosses as well. It looks a lot of fun. It looked a hell of a lot of fun. I'm kind of interested in the story. I love how gritty it is. It looks like to be a really cool Viking Samurai Knight game. It's a good idea, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing more on it, and it's very anticipated by a lot of people. Then we get Grow Up, which is the second of the series of Grow Home, and I don't know if you've been around the channel a lot and you saw my top 10 games from last year. Grow Home was at number 10 for me. I really liked it. I really like these indie-style published game, the indie-style games that Ubisoft do, and Grow Up seems to be the next one in there, and I'm looking forward to kind of getting more of that in there and everything, because Grow Home is a fantastic game. It was a lot of fun, and I think Grow Up is going to be adding to that, and I'm looking forward to getting it. Then we get Trials of the Blood Dragon, which is basically getting 2 franchises that everyone talks about Ubisoft being kind of crazy and fun and putting them together. Cool idea, I suppose. I don't really see why people care about this, to be honest. I thought it was weird how they announced it. I thought the guy was like, I'm the president of Finland, and everyone was just like, cool, okay. And then they announced it. It was weird, it was strange, it was odd. Okay, we'll move on. If people want to get it, it's out now. Go ahead and get it. I just don't really see people caring that much about it, because Trials seems to have died out. Far Cry Blood Dragon was, 4 years ago now? 5 years ago? It was a long time ago. And we've moved on with life. We've moved on. And then we get to the last 2 things of the conference, which was Watch Dogs 2, where they announced there's going to be a Watch Dogs movie, which I'll probably skip out on because I'm not really interested in it. Maybe the movie might be better than the game, to be honest with you. But there's going to be a Watch Dogs movie, and there's going to be, the PS4 is going to be getting Watch Dogs 30 days early, so they've actually got deals with with Ubisoft, they're two different companies. They've got the Division deal with the Xbox, and then they've also got the PS4 deal with Watch Dogs again. And then the DLC comes 30 days early, showed new gameplay. It looks kind of interesting. It looks very bright and quirky compared to the first one. We're just going to have to wait and see how Watch Dogs is with reviews and things like that at a later date, because Watch Dogs, the first one was very disappointing, and the second one, hype starting to build again. I'd warn and say be precarious, but we're going to have to wait and see. And then the last thing we got coming out, we had the Assassin's Creed movie tour, but I'm just going to skip over that because that was just complete bull. But we had the Extreme Sports open world IP called Steep, which seems fun. Again, I don't see it really doing well because I don't really think people are that bothered about extreme sports, especially playing it in an open world game. I think there's a lot of other games that people will be focused on, but we'll definitely see more info on this at a later date. It didn't really grab my interest for me. I was kind of fading out at this point because it went on a bit long. But we're just definitely going to have to see more on Steep in the future. So thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the press conference recaps that I'm doing. I've got 2 more to go, Xbox and Microsoft and Sony, 2 with the best conferences E3 by a freaking mile. And I'll definitely be getting into them next. And also I've got a ton more E3 coverage to come out as well. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.